up, just go. Shit. Deke, hold the rail, Grant. Oh, shit. Hold the rail, baby. Hold the rail. Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. So my name is Candace and I moved to Bangkok. Right now I am at my condo. I've actually been in Bangkok for a little over 2 weeks, right at about 16 days. So yesterday the craziest thing happened. I thought I was going to die. Like literally, there was an earthquake that happened, and my son and I, that's my son Grant. Hello. My son and I were in the pool, which is on the 32nd floor of this building. I'm gonna see if we can try to get like a view of how tall this building is from here. But it is a rooftop pool situation, and so yeah, we were in the pool just kind of chilling and relaxing, and out of nowhere the like water just starts going crazy. Like it literally was looking like tidal waves in the pool. And so with the pool being on the 32nd floor, and of course we were in the pool, we ended up having to rush down the stairs with no shoes and basically swim clothes. My son didn't even have a shirt on, and so it was pretty crazy. And sorry, I'm waiting on a grab. We're heading to the market because we want to be out of the building. This is pretty much exactly about 24 hours after it happened. It was about 1:30 p.m. yesterday, and right now it's just now 2 o'clock. So this pretty much happened, like I said, 24 hours ago. And so I'm just kind of recapping how I feel after the fact. And the reality is that was the scariest thing that I have ever had to deal with. And I do have a TikTok that I put together, and so I'll definitely show that to you guys, of, you know, the exact moment, because I happened to be filming. But just telling you about it is even scarier. And so I'll kind of do like a breakdown of what you'll see in the video. We're getting in our grab now. Swaddy crab. And so basically, and excuse this, it got crushed in my luggage. I'm gonna keep trying to fix it. But I had to cover my eyes. Basically, the water started like splashing really loudly, and my son was under the water, so I thought he was doing something, because he's done like he does different stuff in the water sometimes, and it'll start making like loud splash sounds and stuff. But I noticed he wasn't really doing much, and so when he got up, I was like, they installed some kind of jets or something, so it wasn't registering to me immediately what was going on. And so the pool starts kind of like, the water, like I said, is swaying, and I'm like, no, let's get out of the pool. My son, he reacted really quickly when it happened. And so we were, I think, just kind of, yeah, we were like, you'll see in the video, we're just kind of there, and then like immediately start getting out. And so once we got out of the water, I noticed that the actual whole building was swaying, and it wasn't just the water in the pool. And there was another gentleman who was in the pool as well, and he had started getting out, and I saw that he was having a kind of a difficult time getting out of the pool area, and so I kind of checked on him. You'll see me turn around and kind of like talk to him, but I was turning around to check to see if he was okay. And then I was kind of trying to put my things back in the backpack, and I was taking my time. That's what I was saying initially, and that's when I was smiling. I was like, I know. I was like, I'm gonna get all my things. And then that's when the staff came running towards us. That's what the ladies that you hear yelling in the background. And so they started yelling. I had no clue what they were saying, but when you see, like, you'll see like the Thai in the captions, if you have the captions on the TikTok. And I did a translation, and basically what she was saying at the time is, oh my God. And so I was like, okay. Well, of course I had no clue at the time, but I discovered that afterwards. So she was kind of freaked out also. And so once I saw how she looked and when she was screaming, I just said, forget everything except for, yes, I did already have my cup in my hand. I already had it in my hand because I wasn't sure. And I just was like, well, let me grab my electronics. So I grabbed the camera, which is the camera, the one that you see me on, and like just made sure I had my phone, and I made sure I had my purse because I knew that had my, I thought it had my passport in it, but it didn't. My passport was at home. But yeah, I grabbed that, grabbed my phones, just made sure I had that. And my son, he was already pretty much heading down the stairs with the staff members. And I had no shoes on. And I have a broken, like, couple of bones in my right foot from a wreck that I got in 2023. But neither here nor there, that fracture, it breaks and then heals, and then breaks and then heals. And so I think when I was going down the stairs, because there were cement stairs, that I re-fractured my foot because it just started hurting really bad. And like I said, we're on the 32nd floor, so it took me a good probably 10 minutes, if probably about maybe 10 minutes. I don't know, I might be putting on for the time of how long it took me to get down, but I know it hurt, and I was definitely tired, even with just going down the stairwell. And so that was like, you know, the quick version of what happened. But I would say the scariest moment was actually at the very beginning of going down the stairwell. And I feel like that because we were soaking wet, so we were dripping. We literally, of course, just run out of the pool, and we were barefoot, and so we were slipping. And so that's why you'll hear me at the end of the TikTok video, I'm like telling my son to hold the rail, hold the rail, hold the rail. And that's why I'm saying like shit, because I'm like slipping. And so I don't even know when the video cuts off, but once I got down to about the 20th floor, so, or maybe, I don't know, maybe even before then, I ended up recording just some more video of me just kind of telling how I felt in the moment. Because at the very top of the stairs, not only were we slipping and everything, but you could still feel the building swaying back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And so that to me was kind of like the scariest part, because we were slipping. I was with my son. I had to hold it all together, and it was just like, oh my goodness, what's going on? What's happening? And so, yeah. That was the initial, you know, actually being in the earthquake. Now, following up to that, I kept thinking to myself, why didn't I know anything about these earthquakes? Why didn't I know anything about these earthquakes? And well, once I started communicating with the people who are in the building and communicating with my agent, the one who actually got me into the building, I realized it is not a common occurrence, and it doesn't happen often, and nobody really was aware of what to do in the situation. And of course, you can't predict when something like that is going to happen. So I don't know, like, we just got here, but I can't lie and say I haven't rethought being here. I don't know if I need to rethink where we live, because our condo is on the 25th floor, and yeah, it's even kind of scary now. And like, all I wanted was a view when I came. Like, I just want a view. I just want a view. And I got the view literally around the whole entire condo. There are literally floor-to-ceiling windows. But now it's like, how do I feel about having that? And so that's something I'm thinking of. And then it's also, how do I feel about being here? Like, I don't know, kind of thinking about everything. But with the fact that I prepaid for my condo a good amount in advance, I need to see if it's even an option for me to get those funds back and really just see what my options are. Aside from that, I've been having issues with just the internet in general, so that's a thing. But I didn't want to hold up the video too long. I just wanted to kind of touch on the initial, like, scary part of the whole Thailand earthquake situation, but also, like, just in general what ended up happening. So I'm in a couple of groups, and I've heard like a lot of people weren't allowed to go back into their condo, some for days, some for 24 hours. I guess it really just depended on where you live and the amount of damage done to your condo. I am sort of, I guess you could say, on the outskirts. I'm in an area called Bang Plat, and to my understanding, I'm like right at the border of where Bangkok and Nonthaburi meet. So I didn't see any like major damage anywhere where I was. I haven't left and like went around the city until like right now. This is literally my first time moving around, and it's like I said, 24 hours later, so it's not like a massive amount of time. But I had an event I was supposed to go to last night, and I didn't go to that because I didn't want to leave my son, and it just would, in my opinion, would have been a lot to try to do that, and then walking up those flights of stairs, and a drink would have been necessary, which it was necessary. I had one including the one that I had in my hand when I got out of the pool. But just in general, it was, I would say, the scariest thing I've ever like dealt with. But once we got down, I'll include some shots of basically how it looked when we were, like, once we finally got down to the ground floor. And we basically were on the sidewalk. I was there with some clothes, no shoes, and my son, he had also no shoes, no shirt. And we were just on the side of the road with the rest of the people from the condo, staff included, and they were very nice. They passed out water to us and made sure we were good there. And basically we stood out there, I would say, until about, like I said, this happened like 1:30, so we were out there until about, I would say, 6 p.m. And we weren't outside until 6 p.m. We were probably outside until about 4:45, 5 o'clock. And then we were able to come and sit in the lobby until they assessed, you know, what they thought should happen. And they weren't able to get a good read on the elevator. Either they didn't have somebody available, or I'm not sure exactly the reason, but basically they decided not to turn it on. It was on when we left today, so plus we didn't have to walk down the stairs, but they didn't turn it on last night. So all in all, because we left all of our stuff on the top floor, we ended up walking back up to the 32nd floor once we were allowed back into the building. And that was like about, like I said, 5 o'clock-ish. So my son and I went up there, retrieved all of our things, and then walked back down to the first floor, just waiting for them to give us the okay, and, you know, just letting us know. And they were making announcements, but they were making announcements in Thai, so I was having to go and check in with the juristic office just to make sure that, you know, it was safe, because every time they would kind of make an announcement, people would start shifting and moving, so I was not really sure exactly what was going on, basically. And so every time I would check in with them, they were definitely really nice, and Google Translate made that situation happen. So very much a plus. And then I would say about, like I said, 6 p.m. ish, 6:15, 6:20, we were allowed to go back upstairs, and I confirmed with them twice to ensure that they were advised that it was safe for us to go back upstairs. I was also basically preparing mentally for us to end up having to get a hotel, but that wasn't the case. If I would have had to get a hotel, I'm not sure exactly how I would have even got there, because the trains were shut down, and I believe Grab was also shut down too. So I'm happy, that I didn't have to. I definitely feel really sorry for all the people who were displaced, last night. I do see that this would be, a very scary thing, and I was kind of confused because a lot of the people were, really distraught or upset, as it was happening. I was thinking, well, if this happens, but, like I said, I realized it's not common and it's not something that happens often. But I feel very blessed to be here and safe. I did see the trains start back rolling, and right now we are on our way to the Chat weekend market, and I think it's like the biggest weekend market in Asia or something like that, but it has all kinds of things. We just kind of want to walk around and see what we come across, and I'm hoping we find some cute things that maybe we want to hold on to as souvenirs, or I don't know. We'll see what we get into. But basically, that was my yesterday. It does have me rethinking like everything, but yeah. Earthquake in Thailand. Didn't even cross my mind that there would be an earthquake here. So welcome to the channel. I definitely have a lot of other videos that I've recorded. I just need to edit, but since this is going to be a straight upload, like, I'm not going to be doing any edits. I'm going to simply put this out there, so that way we can get a little intro to the channel. So hey guys, welcome to my life abroad in Bangkok with a 12-year-old.